This week on Talk of the Town, Connie Archibald discusses the concept plan for Midland Square. We also chat with the baseball coach and the new softball coaching staff as we gear up for spring sports with Media Day. Since this interview, several city council meetings have been had with public comment discussing Midland Square. We'll recap that in a future episode.
Applying for grants is not an easy thing. Writing a grant is not an easy thing. But as a city, we attempted to write for this grant. It was called the Rural Opportunity Grant. And there was $405,000 available, of which we could utilize and use. And we had to send to them our plan. So we applied for that. And as you know, Tremonton is known as the Utah city of murals. So we have a lot of murals around our town, and we're known for that. But we want to be known for other things too. And we're trying to beautify and take care of our Midland Square. We want to take care of our Main Street. We have a lot of work to do in that arena. But we want to bring people downtown. So that was one of the reasons why we wrote this grant, is so that we could utilize this money to bring people downtown. It's really all about economics, attracting businesses to our town. And in the years past, we've had a beautification committee who has been who had been working in our city, and they're the ones that really put together Midland Square and that concept years and years ago. But it is, I feel like it's time to reinstate and put some life back into that beautification committee. So, as you know, I've loved serving in Tremonton City and spending time in Midland Square, our park. Some of the things that I've been involved with over the last few years is I've been to about 90% of our farmers markets. I've spent the day there. Another thing that I've loved that we've done is chalk art. And talk about beautiful art. And so when we did the chalk art this past year, I went and looked at that art 4 or 5 times, brought people to Midland Square to look at that and to just celebrate the art. Of course, Santa Claus comes to town, and we've had all kinds of celebrations there. But I've loved it. But most recently, about a month ago, this committee of individuals got together that helped put up Midland Square. And I'm going to mention some of their names because as I was invited to be a part of this meeting, this was a meeting of which the mayor was there. And he introduced to this group of individuals a little bit about the final concept for for the changes of Midland Square. He wanted to know how they felt and get their insight. But these people, as I thought about them, I wrote down some words to best describe them. They have a lot of mature insight, and they're individuals in our community that are able to give us wise direction. So here's a couple of people. Those individuals on the beautification committee are Colleen Johnson, Tam Zollinger, Steve Atwood, Noreen Rawlinson, Bill Hull. On that committee at one time was AC and Doris Christensen, who contributed greatly, but have passed away recently, last few years. But anyway, I sat in this meeting with them, and the mayor showed them the concept plans. Let me just kind of go over some of the things and some of the feelings that they expressed in the meeting. And I need to tell you that I took minutes. I took notes of their comments, and I really didn't say much. I was listening, and I love to listen, and I love to appreciate the gifts of other people. And these people are very gifted and very talented in the area of beautification. As they looked at the concept plan, these citizens love the clock tower chimes. So they said, we'd really love to keep the chimes in our town. We just feel like that's such a nice feature. And there's some talk about putting a clock on the northwest corner of that property. Maybe put a clock there instead of what we currently have. The Tower Dome, that was put together by a company in our community. And so we want to keep that dome and maybe put it in a different, obviously change the location of it. We're going to add some restrooms. As you know, we have some little porta potties back there, but we need to make something that's just a little bit better because it's Tremont City. So we want to be improving. So adding some restrooms is a necessity for families as they come and utilize the square. As you know, as you look at the current square, you'll notice that we have some spruce trees. And they've really kind of outgrown their area. And so the plan is to remove those spruce trees and to flatten that out a little bit. Citizens are welcome to go and look at the concept plans and join us in celebrating. But we would be replacing those trees with some fairly mature trees, but trees that are more fitting for that particular area. We'd like to add some electrical outlets, more widespread through that plaza. More importantly, when we come there, we want to remember. We want to remember those servicemen. We want to remember how important these individuals, both men and women, obviously, there's a sign there that says, all gave some, but some gave all. And so it's a place of remembering. Obviously, those individuals, some of those individuals are buried in our cemetery, and that's sacred ground. But this particular plaza is meant to be a place of remembering, a place where we can remember the contributions they've made. These beautification committee members, as they talked about putting together the Midland Square as it is today, they talked about that there was no funding. There was no funding. They used their time and their money. They got contributions from different people. Honeyville Boulder helped with bringing the rocks in. There were a lot of companies. There were a lot of donations that were made. And they just remembered how much they sacrificed. But they did feel strongly that the parking that we currently have on the south end of the park is probably sufficient for now. And they felt like that would be a great thing. There is a water feature that is on the concept plan. This is not a splash pad. Contrary to what your neighbor might have said, it is not a splash pad. It is not a place where children would come and bring their towels and their flip-flops, and that you would do that. This water feature is a water feature that will contribute to serenity. And most people are attracted to water. So that was put into our plan, but it's more of a serenity feature and more of a feature that will draw people there. Currently, there are benches in our park, Midland Square. And those benches, some of them were contributed by individuals. And this committee, the beautification committee, felt like that those benches should be kept in honor of those who have contributed to that. There is a mural that Mr. Nesson painted for us on the east wall there of the park. The beautification committee would like that to be touched up a little bit. This new park concept, the city would like to start this the spring of this year. So it's very, very soon approaching. And I'm super excited about it because I felt the spirit of Midland Square Park. I felt that spirit as I've been there and participated with citizens that have come and brought their families. It is a place for everyone. As I've been there and decorated with bows and prepared for the holidays, I've been involved in that a lot. And as I go there, there's a good feeling there, and we want it to be a safe place. Of course, the farmers market has been there the last 2 years, and this new concept would make it possible for up to 60 or more than 60 booths to be people to bring their produce and their products there to share with our community. Farmers market does bring it does bring something very special to our Main Street, and that is why we want to continue to keep it there. However, this year, because of the construction that will go on, we're going to be moving it to the library park, which will be fine for the time being, but it will go right back to Midland Square once a month. The auto parts store that is just south of the park itself has really stepped up and been a partner and offered storage for chairs if we want to put some chairs, store chairs there for citizens that come and participate in musical presentations or whatever we have there for citizens to come and enjoy. So we've had a lot of people step up and offer to make it a better park. And so I'm just really looking forward to Midland Square. It's going to be just a place for people to come, not only to remember, but to celebrate the arts, to celebrate singing and music and art of all kinds of art and the gifts and talents that we have available in our community. So I look forward to Midland Square. There will be some changes. Those changes are available to anyone that can look at those changes. But we've been looking and designing this concept for a year, and it is not a concept that it has just barely been introduced to the community at all. It has been talked about and talked about and talked about. And again, citizens might have missed those meetings, but it is not a secret, but it is a special, special time now to have this $405,000 from this grant, of which we can put into our community to make our downtown better. Now, we do have monies. Every year we set aside money from the RDA account. We take it from the RDA account, and it's redevelopment money. And that money every year is used to improve our downtown. So we'll be improving our downtown with those monies. We know we need to have new light poles, and there's different things that we need to do that are so important. And do a little facelift on certain storefronts is another thing that has been talked about. But truly, really, if you are curious, I know that on Facebook the concept plans have been shown, but if you want to know more, please come to the city offices and they'll show you those concept plans, and it's just something that we can be very, very excited about and we can be involved in. And so that's one thing I'm really excited about. Midland Square, it's going to be such an asset and such a boost to our community.
Yeah. And Mayor Holmgren has mentioned that it's going to be the catalyst to downtown. Yes. How do you feel that better fuels that, not just to come to events, but on a daily basis?
You know, I think that it's beautiful, for one thing. It's beautiful. And so that really benefits us, is because it's this beautiful place that you can go, that during the week, Monday, the whole week, any time of day, you can go there. There's benches to sit, there's places to think, and it's just it's just going to be an area of beauty and serenity, and again, remembering. So I join with the mayor. And I will say that our mayor really loves Tremonton. He really, really does. And he wants to do the right thing always. And making these changes to Midland Square is the right thing to do. And we need to be involved in rolling up our sleeves and being supportive as a citizen.
The Business Spotlight segment of Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who allow Bear River Live to feature community stories and all the good that is happening every day in our county.
Tell us a little bit about the Baseball Christmas, how long that's been going on and why it's so special.
I think we started it, I want to say about 2013, 2014 year. Kind of just started out trying to make the big time where we are. Wanting our program and our players to feel special and feel that atmosphere that, they're big leaguers. It's kind of every boy's dream to walk into a baseball player's dream to walk into a big league clubhouse and have things, in their locker and things like that for them. And so we just started decorating the locker room, and the boys one day said it was Baseball Christmas, and it's kind of stuck. We use the E4A program a lot, and we talk about the Sportlight and trying to make them feel like big leaguers, and that they can have these opportunities to share with others and share their passion for baseball and their personalities.
And so you guys have been working with the softball team this season. Tell me how that's been going and what you guys hope to accomplish with that.
I think it's been awesome. We talked with Coach Tyre, facility-wise, we kind of have to do it. We don't have a lot of facilities as far as weight room and stuff, and so both of us had groups of athletes that we would fit in there together as far as numbers-wise. And I think it's been really good for us. We're around, it's another state championship team. And so for us to see how they work and their work ethic in the weight room has been awesome. And I think on the other side, vice versa, it's been that way too, that they see a team that's working just as hard as them, trying to pursue similar goals, and they support each other. It's been real fun.
And so what are some of your team goals this year?
One of the biggest ones we talked about the other day was we want to play for each other more so than anything. They talked about being a family and being each other's biggest fans. One of the cool things about this group of guys is they've really bought into our philosophy of, you don't control wins and losses. You can control the process, and that's what they're talking about. Preparing every day, working at those things. We believe we got a really good ball club, and we can do a lot of things, but they also know if we don't work hard and we don't take care of the fundamentals and practice hard every day, the things that they would like to accomplish to have a successful season won't happen. And so they've worked really hard to really do that, and they're teaching this younger group that same process.
And what are you most excited for with this year's team?
I love the passion that they play with. I think that's one of the funnest things. Our preseason video that we just showed the team the other day talks about playing for the love of the game, and that's what they do. They cheer for each other, they root for each other. They understand that without each other, their personal accolades don't necessarily happen. And so I'm just really excited to watch them grow together and have fun and smile and play the game like it's meant to be played with passion and energy. Our schedule's loaded from top to bottom. Our preseason schedule starting off is not for the faint of heart. We open up with Boxelder down south. Which is always a good game. It's funny that we drive, 6 hours to play the team that's closest to us, but it's always a good game. It's always a good rivalry. They're a well-coached team, and they're going to be good. The next game that we play down there, Springville, they got a couple D1 commits on that team. They're going to be good. And then you roll in to play the night game against Dixie, and every year in and year out, Dixie is one of the best teams in any classification, not just 4A. And then no easier, got another top 5 team in Maple Mountain on our schedule right there. Come back home. We get the defending 5A champs who come down to 4A in Timpanogos. Love it. That's going to be a good matchup. Finish that week with Cottonwood. Then you get into region play, which doesn't get any easier for us. Region play is going to be good. Every team in region, I think, is much improved, even from last year, even with guys losing. So all those teams is going to be a fight in the claw to get to the top of region, and I think that's one of the cool things about these guys is they're embracing that challenge.
And then just give us a quick recap of last year and how you guys plan to improve on that finish.
I thought we did pretty well. I thought we were probably one or two games, we could have had here or there. If a ball bounces our way, we get a call, some momentum changes. We're just really looking to build off. We return our top six guys in our lineup. We return our top 4 arms. Then we got an underclass group that has worked really hard. We had a great summer of baseball and finished in a lot of tournaments, either in the semifinals or on championship day. And so guys have been in some big time moments, and I'm looking forward to those guys growing in those moments in varsity baseball this year. I think we got a phenomenal coaching staff. We got one of the best pitching coaches, I believe, that's around in Dixon Marble. He's amazing, works with kids really well, connects with them, teaches them a lot of good things. He was a former college baseball player and a college pitching coach, so that always helps out. We got 2 state championship players on our team from 2004, and Coach Miller, who is our head freshman sophomore coach, and he's right there with us at the varsity level of the day. Coach Ramsdell brings a ton of experience, same thing on that state championship team. He's our hitting and fielding coordinator at that level, helps us with infield and outfield. Coach Davis, another former player, is our pitching coach at our sophomore freshman level. Is phenomenal. He's an extension of Coach Marble. They think a lot alike, and they have their own little flair to get things across to them. Coach Callister's phenomenal, our JV coach. He's probably one of the most motivational guys we have when we're looking to get going. He just finds us a way to get fired up. Got Coach Backey, who keeps things lighthearted, has fun with the kids, relates with them really well. And then we got Coach Frank, who's very even keel. So we got guys that just relate well to our team. They all add a little different flair. Bringing back the whole staff from last year is huge with that continuity. I think we've just been able to grow and have a great offseason with that and watch the relationships that they're building with kids and how they're teaching the game. It's been awesome.
And who are some of your players that are returning or to watch for this season?
We got Deegan Rigby. He was our number 1 pitcher. He was our 3 as a sophomore. Last year he took over as our Tuesday guy. He was our big game guy, signed at CSI. He'll be a guy that's just, I think, going to have another breakout year both on the mound and at the plate. Garrick Marble, phenomenal hitter, great first baseman, is committed to Slick, which is awesome. Looking forward for a great season. All of our seniors again. So that was 2 of them. Talon Marble, be his 3rd year starting now. Phenomenal infielder, excuse me, all-state caliber player. And Easton Goodliff is steady Eddie. No matter what the game is, he's just Easton and just battles. He's going to be awesome. Our 2 juniors that are returning the starting lineup, all-state honorable mention in Holden Potter, had a great pitching year, can flat out hit and play defense. Looking for big things on both sides of that, and he's had a great offseason. Colton Summers transitioned to the outfield last year, and he's phenomenal, gotten better. One of our top 4 hitters last year in our lineup. Looking for big seasons there. And we got some juniors that are coming along who had great summers, and Brooks Strollinger, can't wait to see what he does. His work ethic this offseason has been off the charts. Super excited to see it. Thomas Summers has worked really hard to get there in those moments. And so we got a lot of guys in that junior class that are pressing for playing time. Our sophomore class is really good. They were the freshman sophomore champions last year in our region. Got 3 quality arms there that could see varsity time, and Ethan Higgs and Broxton Gardner and Payson Danzy. Really, really talented group of arms there that could really add some depth to our lineup and our rotation. I'm just really excited for this group. They're pretty special, and I think we can do a lot of good things. They just got to keep playing, and it should be a fun season.
Tell us kind of how that process went. Like, at what point did you know you wanted to be the head coach?
So I actually was very apprehensive about it, right? Head coaching is a big thing. I was assistant for her when she was the head coach of Box Elder, and assistant was great, but I just felt that I wanted to do what these kids deserved. I wanted to be there, help them, support them, cheer them on through their high school experience, and do everything I could to do that for them.
And how does it feel to be able to have that head coach position where you played?
It's a lot of pressure. I think we're all feeling a little pressure. I mean, you look at what Coach Calvin did. You have the record of state championships in the state of Utah and the most wins in the state of Utah. There's definitely some pressure to be added, but I also think it's fun. Like, it's just the tradition here, and it's pretty cool to step out on the field where I played and whatnot and just give back to the community that gave so much to me. I could not be more blessed with who I have. So down here we have Katie Gibbs. She played at Bear River and also at Snow College. We have Kinsey Summers, and she played at Bear River, and both of these guys were state champions, and she played at Utah Valley. We have Talise Nelson. She is actually from Box Elder, but we'll still accept her. But she played also in college at the University of Texas
Me and Basin.
Yes, thank you. I always
Texas
forget the
A&M.
last name. Right? And she was actually the head coach at Box Elder, where she won 3 region championships and a state championship. And then right here we have Caleb Hardy. He is really been a coach in the wrestling world, but his mindset of sports psychology is through the roof, and I thought that was the best thing for these kids right now, is they needed that, and they needed to be mentally stronger. And then at the end we actually have my dad, Brad Tyre. He's played and coached for 40 plus years, and it's honestly a pretty cool experience to go full circle with my dad. When I went in for my interview to get the job, that was one thing I said, is I wanted to build the community with the baseball and the softball program. And actually Coach Hawes was in on my interview, and after I got the job, we talked and we just said there's so many cool opportunities for these kids to have when it comes with baseball and softball being together. So we decided right then that we were going to be in the weight room together, and it has been so cool to watch these kids do that. At the very beginning, my girls were scared to death to go in a weight room with a boy and didn't know what to expect, but then by the end of the couple months that we were in there, they were pushing each other. You would hear boys be like, well, she's got 45s on, we need to put another 45 on, and just pushing each other in that way. And then Coach Hawes and I have just worked really well. We thought doing a media day together and softball, baseball Christmases together, that it would just be fun for the kids to build relationships with each other.
And how does that feel to be, a new coaching staff, and that's the first time the girls have ever had a softball Christmas? What was that experience like for you guys?
So we kind of all experienced softball Christmases in college, but the girls deserve it. They deserve to be seen. They deserve to be recognized. And yeah, it was a lot of work for all of us, but just seeing their faces today, being able to light up with everything that they got, and even just the littlest things, we just wanted to make them feel special and be seen. And honestly, we couldn't have done it without our sponsors. We've had some very amazing people come into our life and generously give to our program. We were able to get new uniforms, new helmets, do some upgrades to our field, and we couldn't have done it without them.
I'm Katie Gibbs, and this is my first year coaching. And so for me, one of the roles that I see, first off, is to learn just from these amazing coaches, because I've played with or against a lot of these coaches in the past, and they're just incredible. And so it's such a huge opportunity to learn from them and be able to do it while playing our favorite game. And my other thing that I really want to focus on this year is just helping the team to feel just like that, a team and a family. And that's something that I think will be super cool to experience as a first-time coach and as a first-time coaching staff together. I think it's going to be a really cool experience.
I am going to be coaching JV and the pitching coach this year, so obviously pitchers are going to be my babies this year, and we're going to work hard with them. But also, like Katie said, to me, I love the game. I love being around these other coaches, but giving back to the community and back to the coaches that have helped me in my softball career, and also just helping these students become better people, these athletes become better student athletes. So
I'm going to be helping out with varsity and then all of it. This is going to be a fun thing because me and Jordan have already coached together, and we're switching roles this year, and I'm pretty excited for it. I think I coach because I want to give back, like Kinsey said, give back to a game that has taught me so much and brought me friends. And to this day, I have friends that I started playing with when I was 12, and great memories, and I can't wait to give it back and share my love for this game with these girls.
My role is going to be with the freshmen, sophomores, a little bit of JV, and obviously get in their heads in a positive way, try and keep them just headed forward in an upwards direction. I was blessed to be able to coach the freshman girls for the last 5-6 years with Kenzie and some other amazing women in the community, and so when it came time for these girls to move on up, I just had to find a way to get here so I could keep coaching them. I can't imagine going through a softball season and having to sit in the stands.
And they let me put the batting cages up and down before and after practice, so I'm just here along for the ride.
Just rake the field.
But no, I'll be helping Coach T and Coach Jordan with varsity girls. I love practice. I could care less about games, but I love practice. I love to see the girls get better at practice, so I'll be working with the hitters this year.
As a goal for our team this year, I just want them to attack every day, to show up to practice, put in the work at games, because honestly I feel like that's what's going to pay off the most. At the end of it, a state championship would be great, but I can't look at the future. I got to look at the everyday, and if we take the right steps every single day and we attack each day and do what we need to do and try to prepare our girls in the right way, I think we're going to be in a pretty dang good spot when the end of the season hits. So we actually are playing a few different teams, which I'm excited about. Olympus is coming up to our place. Spanish Fork is coming up to our place. Those are some top teams. Spanish Fork has been the reigning champs for I think a couple years now. But then we just got our tournament schedule, and we have Desert Hills coming up here, and Sky Ridge, and Payson, who are also some top teams. So that was one thing when I was making the schedule, is I wanted to push our kids. I wanted to make sure that they were ready for region, because our region is tough. But I'm excited to see what they do and how they handle it. Ridgeline's always going to be at the top. They are coached very, very well, and they do things the right way. I also think that Desert Hills and Snow Canyon are going to sneak up in there. I think they've got some really good young pitching that could do some damage. I also think Uinta might find they're going to crawl their way up to the top as well. But quite honestly, I could see it. It just depends how the season shakes out, but I think there could be probably 8 or 9 teams that could find themselves up in that top spot. We have one player right now that's committed to college, and that's Bella Douglas. She committed about a week ago, and she's going to the University of Purdue. We have a lot of juniors that are eager to get going in the recruiting process. We as coaching staff are going to help them try to pursue their dream and find where they want to go and find the school that is right for them. So we're just excited to be along the ride to watch them achieve their dreams.
No sports highlights this week, but though it doesn't look like spring outside, spring sports are underway this week. Starting off with boys lacrosse on Wednesday, they host the Davis Darts, and you can watch that game on Bear River Live. Then on Thursday, you get your first look at boys volleyball as they travel down to Box Elder to open up their season against the Bees. And we will be sharing Beehive Sports Media's coverage on our site. You got Winter Guard show on Friday, and the Lady Bears lacrosse team holds their red and white game on Saturday. Baseball and softball teams head down to sunny St. George. Baseball starts off with Box Elder on Thursday, then Dixie on Friday, and finish off with Maple Mountain on Saturday. The Lady Bears softball, they start Friday morning with Westlake, then Crimson Cliffs and Desert Hills. Then on Saturday, they finish off with Springville and Wasatch before heading back home.
Next week on Talk of the Town, Athletic Director Clay Chernus gives us a recap of winter sports, and we hear from this year's baseball and softball players.